Hello everyone, welcome back. It's been such a long time, I can't really remember since the last time I actually made a video just talking about a number of books. And so hello. So this will be the last video I will be filming on this channel for 2019. So today I will be doing the end of the year book tag. So I was just thinking, what kind of video to make and film for the end of the year. A lot of people have been uploading now their best books and worst books of 2019. I think I will do that but in a single video just because I don't have a lot of books to talk about. This tag was created by Ariel, and I'll leave the link to her video down below. There aren't a lot of questions, which I really like. First one is, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? There's a reason why I wanted to do this tag. There are actually 3 books I really want to finish by the end of this year, and by the time I'm filming this, there's literally only roughly a week till the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020. These books, by the way, are on my currently reading shelf on Goodreads, which is a lie because I haven't touched these books in months. The first one is The Sacrifice Box by Martin Stewart. This is a UK book. It's about these 5 teenagers who find a box in the woods. The 3 rules that come with this box is never go to this box alone, don't open it after dark, and don't take your sacrifice back. 4 years later, friends are now estranged, they don't talk to each other, and then something supernatural, horrifying is coming after them one by one, and they are trying to figure out what actually happens if one of them has actually taken their sacrifice back, whatnot. By the way, these books are books that I'm in the middle of, and I'm currently 130 pages into this one. From what I remember, it's alright. It's a little spooky here and there, but nothing too mind-blowing. But since I already shelved it as on my currently reading shelf on Goodreads, I intend to finish it. There are books that I have started and haven't officially put it on my current read on Goodreads or made it official, so I won't be touching those. Definitely plan on finishing this. I think it'll be rather easy to finish. If I can predict now the rating for this book, it'll probably be a 3 out of 5 stars, maybe even higher if the ending does surprise me, but we'll see. The next book that I started and I only read 5 or 6 chapters of, but I'm really anticipating this one, is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafran. So Hannah from over at A Clockwork Reader recommended this book to me. I've seen this book going around very minimally on BookTube, but those who have read it are just blown away by it. And I can already tell from the parts that I've read and the writing style, the story, the atmosphere, I'm predicting it already to be one of my favorite books of 2019, if not ever. It's about a boy who finds a book, and he finds out this book has been whitelisted. Every copy that this author has written has been destroyed. He finds out that certain people who have read his book, this lost, forgotten book, their lives are forever changed. And this takes place in Barcelona right after World War II. I don't really reach out to historical fiction and whatnot, but I think the setting and time is just really appropriate for this whole story to take place so far. I can already predict this to be a 5-star read, but we'll definitely see. Last and not least is The Little Life by Hanya Yannick. So I read this book, I believe, in August, and I'm roughly 300 pages in. So far, I actually really love this book. It's very heavy, very emotional. A lot of reviews that I have read have said that they have aged physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually with this book, and I can 100% agree from what I've read so far. This book literally has every trigger warning that you can possibly imagine. It's very heavy. I really enjoyed the character dynamics so far with the friendships and how these characters are growing up and everything in this city of New York. But you really feel for this one character named Jude, who has been through a shit ton of things. I'm not sure what my prediction on this will be. I think either a very strong 4, possibly a 5. Who knows? So that was a really long fucking answer to number 1. Next question. Do you have any audible books to transition into the end of the year? So I read 2 books around in November and early December that I actually really loved. Probably one of my favorite books of all time. And the first one is The Starless by Erin Morgenstern. If you guys watch my previous and earlier videos, I have mentioned that I read this and absolutely fucking loved it. Everything in this book is fantastic. This is the second book Erin Morgenstern has written in 8 years. Her first book, The Night Circus, I absolutely loved, and it's also one of my favorite books. I absolutely loved it. This is the UK edition that I own, and it's my favorite so far. One of my favorite books of all time. I want this whole book tattooed on me, so. And the next book that I read, absolute favorite, surprise favorite, was not expecting to like it as much or love it as much, and it's Imaginary Friend by Chbosky. I went to this knowing very little, but the Goodreads rating for this book is a 3.4, 3.5. Somewhat kind of average, below average, kind of low. A lot of people were disappointed by the religious themes and aspects, which I didn't really know going into it. I absolutely really like that. I really like that aspect. And they said it was really long and really slow. It was just like, it was a messy time. It was a chaotic and messy time. And I felt like they were reading 2 to 3 separate books. I absolutely really enjoyed this dysfunctionality of this book. I don't know, it was just so different from a lot of books that I read. I really enjoyed the writing style, which a lot of people really hated. I don't know, everything that people hated, I loved. So this was a 5 out of 5 star, one of my favorites of 2019. Question number 3. Is there a new release you're still waiting for? So there is not a new release that I'm still waiting for 2019. For 2020 is a different story. However, even then in 2020, I'm not really looking forward to anything. I haven't really even done my research on what's coming out. Aside from what I know from like the authors that I've read, I know that they're writing a sequel, or if they're going to write a new book. Usually thriller authors come out with a new thriller book every year. There's a reason for that though. I'll mention it later at the end of the video because it's a big announcement, so stay tuned. Next question is, what are 3 books you want to read before the end of the year? I literally answered this in the first question. But in case you wanted a rehash, it's The Sacrifice Box by Martin Stewart, A Little Life by Hanya, Yannick, and Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafran. I can never pronounce his name correctly or remember it. So I'm hoping to finish these books before 2020. It's a goal. We don't know if I'm going to reach that goal. So the next question is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? I answered this in a previous question. I think A Little Life could be, and Shadow of the Wind is probably going to be my favorite book of the year, maybe of all time. I don't know, we'll see. I have a lot of favorite books of all time. Even though I don't really have an anticipated reads 2020, I feel like I'm at like a halt, I think, with a lot of new releases, new upcoming releases. I just want to take a step back, take a breather, because I feel like 2019 was just a plethora of just new releases, new sequels, spin-offs, and just a lot going on. 2020 will also be a good year, I feel like, but I'm reining in because also stay tuned for the announcement at the end. Everything that I'm saying right now will make so much more sense later. So last and not least, have you already started making reading plans for 2020? So here is what everything that I've said so far factors into this sort of last question. So I haven't really made any specific plans for 2020 per se. However, though, I am planning on a book series, 2 separate book series on my channel. So the first one is sort of like a simpler kind of series. It's more of a thriller book of the week, if we want to get specific. It doesn't matter. It doesn't pertain to that particular month, to that particular week, even in that month. It's just whatever during that week. It's literally one of my most asked questions on this channel, and it's, when will you make a thriller recommendations video? And I can't tell you enough how many times I get this question in my DMs, whatever. To even make a video like this, I have to read the thriller and I have to enjoy the thriller. And the amount of reading that I've done this year, even though it's a handful and I'm pretty proud of the amount of books I've read, it isn't equivalent enough, I think, to make just a full video, maybe like 5 books. I think it's not worth it, so I think I will do a thriller video of the week, and it doesn't matter if it's good thriller or if it's a bad thriller, it'll still be that video of the week. So basically, I guess you can say every thriller that I've read, I will make a video for. Just might stick it to the thrillers that I enjoyed, but the balance of that, I'm still trying to figure it out. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys have any ideas, suggestions. I just want to keep it simple for 2020 and not overcomplicate things. The second announcement is this. I haven't really thought of a title for it. It's more like of an idea, but for 2020, I really want to just focus on certain genres of the books that I own on my bookshelf and finish those genres dedicated to specific months. So in simpler terms, I want to complete and finish the books on my bookshelf instead of buying books, because I don't know if you guys know, but you guys can't see any bookshelf. Oh, you guys can. There's 1 bookshelf right there, 3 bookshelves behind this camera, and 1 bookshelf in the corner. So that's 5 bookshelves right there. That's a lot of books. And plus, that's not even counting the books I have on the floor over there next to my coffee table. For every 2 months, I would dedicate a genre. I will be reading the books that I own on my bookshelf for that particular genre. Does that make sense? I don't even know. Does that make sense? For an example, I'll dedicate the months of January and February to fantasy, high fantasy. That's a goal right there, 8 to 10 books. I don't know how this will go, just because next semester is my last semester of school and I have to take 6 classes. It's just like a lot of planning, a lot of stuff to do. My structure for this announcement, for this series, is just to basically read the books that I own in that genre dedicated to those couple of months. That's it. That's basically it. So I did list the genres that I sort of want to read, I guess. So January and February would be fantasy. It'll be fantasy, thriller, contemporary, literary fiction, science fiction, and that's basically it. That gives me 2 months per genre, which gives me 2 free months in the year, and I think I'll either use those 2 free months as space and time as pushbacks. Within like a certain month or a certain genre, I need more time to finish, or it could be in those 2 particular months, I could be finishing or reading whatever I wanted, like a free pick, basically. That's basically it in a nutshell. It's what I'm hoping to achieve and accomplish in 2020 as far as my reading plans. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of the series. I don't know what to call it yet. If you guys think it's a good idea? Any suggestions for like names, titles, or if you guys are interested in joining? I don't even know. So last and not least, however, is another announcement that I wasn't planning on making, but I guess I'll just make it anyway. And that's actually co-aligns perfectly with my reading the books off my bookshelf announcement, because I will be reading Harry Potter for the first time. But I'll be participating in a group where we will be reading a Harry Potter book for each consecutive month. There are 5 people, and each person is responsible for amount of books, amount of movies, for amount of live shows that we'll be doing on each in our own respective channels. We're calling ourselves Harry Potter and the Virgins. Super original, Harry Potter and the Virgins. I don't know, my stance to reading the Harry Potter series was a little skewed after J.K. Rowling exposed herself as a TERF. As transphobic. I don't know how I feel about it. So many people have been telling me to read the series, and I have been, you know, getting along, trying to get into it, but I haven't. And finally, just as I'm about to actually get into the series and read it, J.K. Rowling comes and does this. But we'll see. It's probably gonna happen, and I'll probably end up reading the Harry Potter series for the first time. I'll also be vlogging those separately on my channel as well. A lot of things happening for 2020, even though I said earlier there weren't a lot of things happening. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you guys all soon with a new video.